It doesn't exist. Closure isn't real. Closure is a motherfucking scam. Accept what they did and who they were and how it ended and move the fuck on. Move the fuck on. Closure is not real. Shh. Welcome to the Secret Life Podcast. Tell me your secret. I'll tell you mine. Sometimes you have to go through the darkness to reach the light. That's what I did. After 12 years of recovery in sex and love addiction, I finally found my soulmate, myself. Please join me in my novel, Secret Life of a Hollywood Sex and Love Addict, a 4-time bestseller on Amazon. It's a brutal, honest, raw, gnarly ride, but hilarious at the same time. Check it out now on Amazon. Welcome to Secret Life Podcast. I'm Brianne Davis-Gantt. Today I'm pulling back the curtains of all kinds of human secrets. You'll hear about what people are hiding from themselves or others. You know, those deep, dark secrets you probably want to take to your grave, or those lighter, funnier secrets that are just plain embarrassing. Join me each week as we take a deep dive into one subject, exploring the how, what, when, where, and why of it all. Get ready for a more revealing, more focused journey on the human experience. This new chapter of Secret Life, and I'm excited for you to join the ride. Today, we are talking about dun 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 magical closure. Ooh, that warm blanket all of us want when we end relationships. We want closure. This fantasy that if we get closure, if we have that one last conversation, that all will feel okay and we'll feel no pain and we'll be okay and we'll shut the door on that relationship and we'll let it go. And we'll just gallop into the future with no bad feelings. I'm sorry. That just cracks me up because I hear it every day. If I could just have closure, if I could just talk to them one more time, if I could just clear the air, if I could just run into them and have that one last conversation. It doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It's so frustrating when people do this work on themselves and heal themselves, and then they get to this point where they're free, and then a part of them thinks, oh, let me go back and open that door to just have that one last conversation or to understand, or even with friendships, even with family members. It doesn't exist. Closure isn't real. Closure is a motherfucking scam. Accept what they did and who they were and how it ended and move the fuck on. Move the fuck on. Closure is not real. And that is why I wanted to do this episode, because I've been dealing with a lot of people wanting this fantasy, this false sense of closure with relationships. Relationships end. Hear me very clearly. I'm fired up. All relationships end, even good relationships. Everybody's on loan to you. Nothing is forever. Everything ends. Good relationships end because someone dies. Nobody's together forever. I'm going to say my all-time favorite saying, you are born with yourself and you die with yourself. No one else is going with you. So everything ends. And not everything ends with a beautiful wrapped up present with the bow on top that feels good. When you care about somebody, it is painful. When you attempt to love somebody, it is painful. To love and open yourself and be in relationship with other human beings will be painful. That is the price you pay to have vulnerability, intimacy, closeness. All humans need it. It is the price. Everybody's got to pay it. But to have this fantasy that you need some closure to feel better is not real. You give yourself closure. You give yourself closure. So it's your mind is at war with the past and you still want to live there. And I'm telling you to move from that battle somewhere else and you will be okay. Get out of the past. Stop living that war with the what ifs. If only, shouldn't we have? Maybe I should have said, let it go. That's a battle you are not going to win. And you need to move on to somewhere else and you will be okay. But until you let go of the magical thought of closure, giving you this signed, sealed, and delivered beautiful feeling, you are lying to yourself. Because closure only happens within self. So let me use this as an example. I did this amazing work with one of my clients that I've been working with for over a year. And she's released herself. Listen, she's still holding on to him, right? And bits and pieces, her internal family parts system, you know, that child wanting to like have what she couldn't have, right? It's not fair. Why couldn't it work out with us? Why couldn't I have all that stuff? So that part was still like taking her over her nervous system at times. And she had this thought, if I have closure. So she unblocked him, of course, without telling me. She unblocked him. And he reached out and she went down the fucking rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. So even if the text or the conversation is good, what's going to happen? You go down fantasy lane, you trickle down fantasy lane, and then you start reattaching, anxiously attaching, wanting to have that feeling again, thinking and going into your brain, past scenarios and attaching yourself again. And it's not real because guess what? He wasn't doing the same. He just was like, hey, this game is on. Can't believe our teams are playing. Reaching out. Hope you're well. That's it. That's all that meant. There wasn't anything more. It wasn't like, sorry for what I did to you. Sorry I wasn't available. None of that was happening. Even if he said that, he hasn't changed. Changing is hard. And there has been no proof in the pudding that he has changed. So her opening that door, thinking there was closure when other situations she has been with him, there was no signs of that closure happening or change happening. So what did she do? What did she do? She went down that rabbit hole and now she's reattached. He's not done anything. And in her fantasy mind, closure, the thought of closure fucked her over once again. Because closure doesn't involve another person. It's you. You are in charge of closure. Only you. Closure happens right after you accept that letting go and moving on is more important than projecting a fantasy on how the relationship could have been. Did you hear that? Let me just make that clear. Closure happens when you accept letting go and moving on. When that's more important than projecting a fantasy on the person or the relationship. Because closure is a fantasy. It only happens within you. It doesn't happen with the other person. Even when the other person says, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I was wrong. The relationship is already stamped with those things that happened in the past. You don't get a clean slate. You don't get to a redo, a reset. Those things are already there in the relationship. So you can never have a new relationship. And those things are truly never gone. Yes, your resentment could be gone, but they're in the back of your little mind. Those things happened. And even if they go off after, sorry for doing that. I'm sorry I was a horrible person. I'm sorry I couldn't give you what you wanted. You deserve better than me. And then they leave. What are you stuck with? I'll tell you, that person then is usually stuck with, oh, I wasn't good enough for them. They're going to go off and do it with somebody else. And it's like self-hatred. Self-worth starts sitting in that I wasn't good enough for them to do it for me. And now they're going to go out in the world and be with somebody else and change for them, which is not even true. So it's a mind fuck. You will never be given closure to a relationship with someone that doesn't want to change or is a narcissist or doesn't see you as a long-term person. It's okay. You're just not what they are looking for, and that is okay. Because closure mostly is a power play. It's a power play to keep things hanging on and hoping for change. Closure is not closing the door. It's another way to hang on, and it's a power play. It's a move to get a new supply, a new hit, a new high from that person. And you think you're trying to close the door, but you're not. It's not magical. It's another way to hang on. And the only way you can count on a true closure is when you shut the door and keep it shut and lock it and turn the key and throw that motherfucking key away and get rid of it and never look back. That is ultimate closure. Never look back. And that is pure, magical freedom of past relationships. And anything less than that is a mindfuck. So why do you think most people want to have magical closure? To get their ex back, to leave the door open, to try to understand, to work through something, to keep them around, to be their friends. We had a great time. You cannot be friends with an ex. I'm sorry. You can debate me all you want. Send me the DMs. Say I'm wrong, that's fine. Once you sleep with someone, once you have a toxic relationship, once you get out of a relationship, you being friends with an ex is you hanging on to a piece of your past and not wanting to move forward. And they're always going to be a part of you that's disconnected from your present and going into your future. And we actually seek closure with somebody else to avoid closure. And that's the honest to God truth, because we don't want to be done. We don't want to be done. When you're actually done, you're done. You don't need anything else. You don't need any more words. You just need to have the boundary, close the door, block them, delete, mute, whatever you need to do. That's what you need to do. And you need to stay there and you need to commit to it. And those small moments of unblocking or thinking of them is you in fear. And you have to repeat that. You are in fear of moving into the future. You are in fear of being in the present. And a part of you keeps wanting to go to the past because that's more comfortable. Because the unknown of the present and the future is more uncomfortable. And real growth and real evolution and real flourishing happens when you're uncomfortable. So I tell people being uncomfortable is where the gold is. Being uncomfortable is where you need to be. And closure is like a false blanket of comfort that's not real. And sometimes the only closure you actually need is understanding that you deserve better. You deserve better. The reason the friendship ended, because you deserve better. The reason the relationship, our love ended, because you deserve better. Real healing starts when you look at the role you played in your suffering in this situation. That's where the healing is, not in the closure. The healing doesn't happen with the closure. The healing happens where, why did I stay so long? Why did I let this go on so long? Why did I even want to keep opening those doors over and over again to try to figure out what happened, what went wrong? How could I make this better? Why didn't he, she, whatever? Real closure is when you look at self. Why did I stay? Why am I keep going back? Why do I want this closure? Because I'm unwilling to let go and cut the cords to this person to heal myself and move forward into the uncomfortable unknown. So here's my goal for you. Whatever you're holding on to, whatever you want closure with, write them a letter. Do not send it to them. Do not send it to them. Let me repeat, do not send it to them. I've had people send, do not send. Tell yourself in the letter, dear whoever, I am literally letting go of you. And you do the closure for you with that. You write everything you need to say, and then you say goodbye to them at the end. You grieve the loss of what was, and you're letting it go and finally saying goodbye and closing it for yourself. And you read it to somebody you trust, a therapist, someone you're working with, and you get that closure and you move on and you shut the door and you never look back. And that is the true sense of freedom. I'm telling you. And even if you open the door in 10 years, 20 years, the door you'll see didn't give you what you want. It was all a fantasy in your head. So closure isn't real. Magical closure doesn't exist. Even if you heard what you needed to hear, it would literally probably be a high and then it would wear off and it would turn into fantasy. So let go of it. Closure does not give you anything. Closure is another form of holding on to the past and relationships that didn't work and won't work. So surrender, let go, move forward and heal and learn the lesson of what went wrong so you don't do it again. Thank you for listening to Secret Life Podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode. Let me know your thoughts this week. I'm sure I'll hear from you. And let me know if there's anything you want me to discuss. Send me a note to secretlifepodcast@icloud.com. Until next time. Thanks again for listening to the show. Please subscribe, rate, share, or send me a note at secretlifepodcast.com. And if you like to check out my book, head over to secretlifenovel.com or Amazon to pick up a copy for yourself or someone you love. Thanks again. See you soon.